Alright guys, welcome to the video. My name is Jason from freefromvacationfees.com. So anything I say here you can find on that website as well. So what does Google have to do with getting out of a timeshare? Well, actually nothing, but it's just that most people, when they're trying to get out of a timeshare, will come to Google and they'll type in something along the lines of sell my timeshare. Well, let me spell that right first. Timeshare. And they'll see something like this that comes up. Okay? Now, if that is blurry a little bit, I am recording this on my iPad, and I'm doing a screen capture on my iPad, and so you might not be able to see everything completely clear if you're viewing this video on YouTube. Okay? If you're watching it on your iPhone or your iPad, maybe it will be clearer for you, but in any event, the information will all be the same. So probably, in my experience, and this comes from the better part of a decade in this industry, is that when people try to get out of their timeshare, they're going to try to sell their timeshare. And there's all sorts of various reasons for this, but the number one reason they'll try to sell is to recoup what they have invested in their timeshare. And long story short, I'm not exactly sure how long you've owned it, but chances are, you know, it's maybe over 10 years, maybe even over 20 years. And actually back in the 80s, or even slightly before then, timeshare was actually a good thing. So people got into timeshare because it did allow the family to go on vacation for cheaper, actually substantially cheaper costs than what you could go and you could book a vacation through a travel agent and whatnot. But over the years, I've just come to believe that actually nowadays timeshare is nothing but a big, giant burden and a complete waste of time. And it's because fees have changed. The entire fee structure of vacationing has changed. I can now go to a website, and in fact, I can go on any website, and if you want to check this out after the video, let me go right now. I can go to something along the lines of Expedia.com, and I can book my flights, book my hotels, book a rental car. Very nice places. Wait for this to come up here. And that's just an example of one travel site I can come to do all that. So, long story short, the internet by itself has led to a lot of competition in vacations, and they've become substantially cheaper. And in my opinion, that has had a major impact on the validity of timeshare ownership. Namely, I don't believe that it's a really good strategy for people anymore, and hence, you've probably found that out, and that's why you're trying to sell it. And I bring up that entire story for the simple fact that you are not alone. Many, many, many people are coming to Google to try to sell, to type in information on how to sell their timeshare. And so you'll scroll through, and maybe you've done this, and you'll see companies as I scroll through. Again, I'm screen capturing this on my iPad. I do not have a pointer, so you just have to follow along the screen. But you can see there's a lot of people offering information and services via ads and whatnot on how to sell your timeshare. But what you probably will not see, and what you might not know, and the number one reason why it is so damn difficult to not only get out of your timeshare, but to sell your timeshare, is because of all the people listing. And that's what you don't see on Google. So let me go over here to eBay again in the browser. And for those who do not know, give it 1 second here to come up. Let me get on there. For those who do not know, as of the date of this video, this is 2019, and I don't suspect it will probably change at any time in the near future, eBay is the #1 listing site of timeshares. And so people will, if you come to eBay, and certainly you can follow along here if you're on a computer or your iPhone or your iPad, if you come to eBay and you type in, timeshares for sale, which some people do, who are trying to get really cheap timeshares, let that come up, you will see many, 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 and did I fail to mention many timeshares for sale. Okay? I mean, we could scroll on and on and on and on here. Okay? For page after page. Just come down to the end of the results. I mean, we're not even close yet. This goes through way over 10 keys. If I even go back here to 10, and you'll see many timeshares for sale. They're still going. Okay? Still going. And we can keep going. Long story short, I just want to show you how many are listed. 14. This goes way out. Way over 100. And this is just one example. There's thousands upon thousands of timeshares listed on eBay that people are selling, as you can see, basically trying to give away. I mean, $1. They're trying to give timeshares away on eBay, and in some cases for free. Now, there are exceptions to that rule. Okay, let me come back here. We'll come back to the home page where we began the search, which I believe we're at or close to now. 1 second here. No, actually we're not. Bear with me 1 second. So let me just roundabouts, rather than take a big long time, I will come back to the opening page of eBay. Okay, and type in timeshares for sale. Okay. So, now, most people are trying to give these things away for peanuts. But every now and then, as you'll see there in the Alara, some of them are more expensive. Okay. Doesn't mean they've sold. Obviously, people still need to buy them. They're bidding on them to buy them. But long story short, and take it for what it's worth, in my experience, and I believe stats bear this out, less than 1% of timeshares resell. Okay? And so I know there's a lot of information on how to sell a timeshare. Much of what I've talked about here on eBay right now is if you're in fact going to go that route, that is my recommendation, that you go to eBay and you list it there first. But, again, less than 1% are going to resell, and odds are yours absolutely, positively will not. In fact, you will not be able to give it away. And the reason for this is the very same reason why you're trying to get out of your timeshare. Nobody wants to take on your maintenance fees. And that is the number one problem with timeshares. Trying to get out of maintenance fees is what makes timeshares so damn hard to, in fact, get out of, or to sell, or to give away, or to anything. And if you think about that, that makes perfect sense. I mean, these are nice properties. You have a lot of nice properties. Again, there's thousands upon thousands of timeshares listed, incredibly nice timeshares. And people would very much like to visit these places, but nobody, or I should say virtually nobody, there are some insane people who will still like to do it, but virtually nobody wants to pay and be forced to take a vacation every year, with an average maintenance fee of $1,000 a year is probably the average. Again, they vary. It's between $800 and $1,200 is probably the average, but some are even more. And then chances are you've been subject to special assessments in the past. Okay, and they just keep adding up on top of your base bill. And some of you have paid $10, $20, $30, even more, even $50,000 to buy into your timeshares, and it's ridiculous. And so you still have a lot of that debt or whatnot, but then the maintenance fees just keep piling up. And the very same reason you're trying to get out of that, away from those fees, is the very same reason that nobody wants it. They don't want the fees. They don't want the burden. Okay, and so let me go over now, real quick, to my notepad, just to jot down a few things here. That is a picture of me right there, for those who do not know. Now, what I want to do is I want to bring up my Google Notepad, so let me do that real quick here. 1 second. Okay. Bring that up here real quick. Okay, so now I'm in my notepad here, and what I want to do is, oh, just bear with me 1 second here. So I'm going to jot down a few notes here. So again, the reason why it's so hard to get out is not because of the property. I'm sure you have a very nice property, a fantastic property that you have bought a part ownership in. I'm sure. Really, it's not. You're not owning the property. You're owning the vacation slot, and I'm sure it's fantastic. But that's not the problem. The problem is people don't want to pick up your maintenance fees. And forgive my spelling, autocorrect will spell it. Nobody wants your maintenance fees. And so that's really what you're trying to get out of. Now, some people will make the mistake, specifically some timeshare owners, of believing that they can recoup their initial investment. Let me just write that down. Investment. And that's why they sell, and that is why they tend to get scammed. Okay? Because they will try to get out of their timeshare by listing it themselves on eBay for X amount of dollars to try to recoup some of their initial investment, whether it be $10 or $20 or $30,000. But that is basically impossible for all the reasons we've talked about in this video already. And so then they'll go the route of trying to list their timeshare. And again, bear with my spelling, autocorrect will get it. They will try to list their timeshare, and they will pay typically somewhere along the lines of, geez, I've seen them quite expensive, but at the very least, the average is probably $1,000 just to list it with no guarantees of it selling. In fact, I'm telling you right now that it most likely, almost certainly, will not sell. It won't sell. Okay, and so you'll be out $1,000. Plus, that'll probably carry on for the next year, and so you'll be stuck in your maintenance fees again, and the bill will just keep getting out, getting worse and worse. And so it just goes back to wisdom here. You have to be wise and understand that. Don't get caught up in the beauty of your property, okay, or the beauty of your timeshare, whether it's on the beach, the amazing pool, and some of them are just amazing. Don't get caught up in that. That's not why it won't sell. The reason why it won't sell is, again, because of the maintenance fees. Nobody wants to be stuck being forced into a maintenance fee justification every year when they can vacation quite cheap just by visiting websites like Expedia and other sites that we've come to. So don't do that, okay? So now there are other options you have. So selling is generally the first option, and generally the people that we speak to here at Free From Vacation Fees have tried to sell. I'm not telling you not to do that. People like to learn the hard way, but long story short, wisdom is not continually to dig yourself into a hole that you cannot get out of. Okay, when there are far better options, and namely a far better option when it comes to getting out of your timeshare is what is called a timeshare transfer, and basically all that is just essentially transferring the ownership, or I should say, I don't even like to use ownership. Really, what you bought when you own a timeshare is basically a slice of open air. Basically, that's all you own. You don't really own anything physical. You're owning basically a slice of air, and so a timeshare transfer is basically transferring the ownership and that slice of air. Transfer your name out of that. Basically, you're just transferring your name off the slice of air. And some people will argue with that, but nobody's ever going to convince me otherwise. That timeshare is basically one of the single worst things in the world. that you can own here in 2019 and going forward into 2020, 2021, any time frame in the foreseeable future. And so what you want to do is you want to not waste money selling. You simply want to transfer your ownership off of that open air. And the way you do that is with what is called a timeshare transfer, okay? Which brings me full circle, okay? That is actually, it's a fairly simple process. The benefits, okay, let's just do a cost-benefit analysis here, okay? Let's do a cost-benefit analysis real quick. So when it comes to selling, okay, when it comes to selling, again, the benefits are, namely, as I see it, one benefit. You have a chance of recouping some of your, well, let me spell that right. Again, I'm Russian here. Some of your investment. Okay? But again, that is typically how people get scammed. They are led to believe that their timeshare will sell for $5 or $10 or $20,000, and so all that listing company wants is your listing fee when they tell you that. Or some people will go to eBay and they'll try to list it for free for that, and it's just never going to sell for all the same reasons we said. Again, it's about nobody wanting your maintenance fees, but that would be one of the possible benefits of trying to sell your timeshare. And if you sold it, you recoup, that'd be great. But again, don't bank on it. And in my experience, you should never pay anybody to list your timeshare. Now, the benefits of timeshare transfer are that, number one, you simply pay to get out. Okay? When you pay, you get out. If you are running the transfer route, if you pay to list, you don't get out. Now again, you can list your timeshare for free, but if you're paying somebody, there is no guarantee you're going to get out. When you pay to get out through timeshare transfer, you actually get out of your timeshare. Now, the disadvantage of that would be, yes, you do have to pay. There's an upfront fee, typically, to do a timeshare transfer. And also, you are not going to recoup any investment that you have into that timeshare over the years. You're simply paying to eliminate your ownership in that slice of air, so to speak, to get out of your timeshare, and that's it. So that is, but again, at this point in this video, that really should be, after learning this, that really should be your main objective, just to get rid of your timeshare and have it gone guaranteed. And that's what you're getting with timeshare transfer. Now, there are several transfer companies on the internet, okay? But it's like anything else, as you know. There are a lot of scams out there, okay? And there are a lot of bad people who simply want to take your money, okay? And so, long story short, you need to do your research first. Now, the name of our company is Free From Vacation Fees, okay? And what we do is we deal in timeshare transfer. Okay? The transfer is guaranteed. In other words, you are guaranteed to get out of your timeshare, okay? Which is really, ultimately, what you should be trying to do, given what we talked about in this video. You don't want to waste money listing. You don't want to waste time, additional time, because you're going to get stuck with more and more maintenance fees over the years, which is what people tend to do. They tend to drag their feet. What you want to do is pay and get out, okay? Again, You're guaranteed to get out, but there is an upfront fee to do so. Okay, and that's what you're paying for. Now, it actually winds up being far, 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 far less than what you're paying in maintenance fees. And if you did a simple projection, if you hold your timeshare for another 5 years, chances are you're going to have another 5,000, maybe even more stuffed into the maintenance fees. Okay, and so getting out right now, here to date, is going to save you a lot of money on that actual timeshare in the long run. But again, do your research. Don't take our word for it. So, if you would like to discuss more with us about this, then you can simply visit free from vacationfees.com. Okay, and that will take you to the site, and you will see our video on that website. And more specifically, you will see a contact form. All you have to do is fill out that form. Again, you can bounce any questions you want off of us. There is absolutely no obligation when you contact us. Let's put it this way. We're great listeners, okay? So even if we cannot help you, you can ask us any questions you like. We'll do our best to answer those questions. Again, we do not provide legal advice, but we have been in the industry. We have people that have a combined over 10 years in the industry, and so we have a lot of information that can definitely help you, and certainly that information is free. Now, should you decide to use us for the service, that is your choice. There's no obligation. There's no thing. Let's put it this way. Again, we're great listeners. Okay, so simply visit that site right here once again. We will select it here for you. Free from vacationfees.com. We deal in timeshare transfer. It is guaranteed to get you out or your money back. Yes, there is an upfront fee, but that fee winds up being far, far, far less than what it costs, okay, to try to sell your timeshare, especially given the fact that it won't sell and you're going to wind up paying more and more maintenance fees over the year. And all you got to do is visit freefromvacationfees.com and fill out our contact form. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, like us below. Certainly comment. And until next time, I truly wish you all the success and have yourself a great day.